It's going to randomly go to Rebellion again. Close. Another Korean Protoss, but not quite Rebellion. Close though, close. Almost. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Torches, we have the orange Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, representing Streamer Zone and winning the random raffle tonight. True, that's really the biggest title. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. He just took down Wayne, Geralt, and Bjorn as well. He's been on a tear tonight. Already a crazy performance. It is YoungYakov. And as we get into the finals, a big shout out in the chat to Nemesis Scab. Thank you so much, Nem, for the raid. Nem, of course, an old school part of the stream, actually. Like, Nem even getting fan art at some points. Nem was a very active player in our amateur tournament scene, and of course a big part of StarCraft, a big part of Alpha X and Psionic Aftermath. So much love to Nem. Thank you so much. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good I said King of Thieves. Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves stream? Question mark? Are you still streaming Sea of Thieves, or maybe something else? But regardless, hope you had a great stream nonetheless, and thank you so much for the raid. For those that are tuning in, this is a StarCraft 2 tournament, SC2 tournament. We're here in the grand finals. Best of 5 did just begin, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. In the chat. You can place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will it go to our Protoss player or our Zerg player? As YoungYakov does set up with the proxy hatchery here in the center of the map. We're mining through the patches. We're going for the all-in. So yeah, oh my god, let's go. He pulls the boys. Boys are being pulled to Maynard and to saturate the goal base, of course. Behind this, should be working on link speed into a link flood into a massive all-in as we work through these mineral patches. Oh boy, let's go. See if yeah, we got the you were sailing the high seas. Let's go. Thank you so much. As from here, we have link speed on the way. You can see the YoungYakov, he pulls out of gas. He's going purely for a link flood. And he's working through that wall. Again, there's an entrance here into the natural base that is purely with minerals, so you have to pull the boys, pull some workers, I should say, to mine through those patches and to break in. As links are amassing. Yakov is gearing up. NightMare behind this, he's fully aware of what's happening. He's going for a Robo opener. A bold choice here from NightMare. Bold choice. Going for the Robo. No shield batteries. That's my biggest concern. There's no shield batteries behind this. Without shield batteries, I don't know if NightMare can actually hold. He's relying so heavily on this one adept to defend. To make sure that links do not get in. But there's only 2 patches. Or really only 1. Here we go. The Queen is waddling forward. More links are amassing. Link speed is almost done. We want to hit with link speed. NightMare going for the pylon inside the main. But is it too late because the boys have arrived? Yeah, we break through that door. The wall does open. Links, they flood in. The force field is not good enough. He gets us around. Yeah, he surrounds the adepts. He surrounds the sentry. And we lose everything. Remember, no shield batteries. GG gets called. And YoungYakov, he will take game number 1. GG. NightMare with a little bit of a misread based on I say misread, really confident and maybe overconfident and maybe having too much faith in the force field, in the sentry, and in the adepts as well. Because there were 2 adepts parked at the wall, if there was like 1 drone coming at a time, he could kill them, right? Ideally, you can one-shot. 2 adepts, they one-shot workers, so he can one-shot workers and stop the wall from being mined. But the problem is, there wasn't just 1 or 2 workers coming in. Yakov, he pulled like 6 drones. He pulled like 6 drones to mine through that wall, so despite the adepts being there, they could not stop the wall from going down. Likewise, the sentry arrived, but the force field was misplaced, and even then, I think the wall was wide enough that the force field did not even matter. GG, well played. So it was a really lean, really crisp defense that NightMare was trying to go for, but in the end, did fumble, and in the end, YoungYakov takes a lead. Does take a lead, and here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the orange Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Streamer Zone, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back in a longer standard game. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top side of Magnatha, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. Now, when it comes to game one, we saw the rush, we saw the flood, we saw the all-in. That was very specific to torches because that map specifically has a mineral wall going into the natural base. Here, we have a standard setup. Here, there's no mineral wall, there's no potential for an all-in, not this early on, so we should be seeing a much more standard early game and a much more standard setup coming into game number 2. Remember, welcome to Magnatha. Magnatha, this is the largest map in the map pool, known for longer games, known for more mid to late gameplay as well. Not saying that YoungYakov won't go for an all-in, I believe he will, but it'll be a later all-in instead. I'm thinking 3 base. I'm thinking 3 base saturation, get up to 3 bases, get a 4th base just for larva, and then commit. Commit with Ling Hydra, commits with, yeah, Ling Hydra or maybe Roach Hydra instead. We'll keep an eye on YoungYakov. At the same time, NightMare, he's not the most standard player either. He's typically quite aggressive himself. I would say that NightMare thrives in the mid game, so we'll see if NightMare also goes for an earlier Twilight Council if he goes for earlier tech. But now everything's looking normal. Yakov, he's forced to expand at the unnatural natural, so a bit of a more awkward expansion location, but outside of that, he should be able to settle into his game without too much issue. This does mean that this area here, in between his 3rd base and in between his main base, is a little bit exposed, and Adepts can abuse this position. But he should be able to minimize losses and deal with it. As from here, we have Link Speed on the way. YoungYakov, he pulls out of gas. We're not rushing into a fast lair or anything crazy like that. To be fair, the last time we saw YoungYakov on this map, he did go for a Ling Queen all-in. True. Did do so against Geralt. Oh, as NightMare, he's in position. He blocks the expansion. Very annoying probe. Does delay the hatchery. Behind this, a Stargate opener out of NightMare. Stargate as a part of the wall. YoungYakov will confirm. Scouts with the Zergling. Oh! Does pull away. Does not get the probe. Probe survives. And Yakov, he's at least aware of the standard opener. From here, we should be seeing an Oracle. Oh, never mind. Void Ray opener. Okay. A little bit cheeky. Now, the purpose of a Void Ray opener is not to do economic damage. It's to do what? It's to hunt down Overlords. To hunt down Overlords. And what does that achieve? It means that YoungYakov will not be able to go for the Overlord scout into the main base. So what we're looking for is specifically to hunt down this scouting Overlord. If this Overlord goes down, then YoungYakov won't know what comes next. So NightMare, he's going for the initial Overlord pillar. This is the more standard location outside of the natural. For now, NightMare expanding, claiming his 3rd. Void Race here to defend. And waiting for the Overlord. Behind this early Evo chamber, plus on melee out of YoungYakov, going into Ling Hydra or setting up for Ling Hydra. Ideally, he does want to skip roaches and skip banelings. We'll see if he can. Or at least skip roaches. Now you can see the Void Race hunting for the Overlord, and NightMare, it looks like he'll find it. Yeah, he will find the Overlord. Overlord goes in and runs into the Void Ray. So the Void Ray will deny the scouts. And for all YoungYakov knows, there could be a second star. I was like, for all he knows, there could be a second Stargate and a rush into Skytoss. Well, there is a second Stargate and there is a rush into Skytoss. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. So this is worst case scenario for YoungYakov. He needs to figure out what's going on. +1 air attack is on the way. We're massing up Void Rays. And we should soon be seeing a Fleet Beacon. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Yakov, he's going for the Baneling Nest. Okay, he's massing up 22 Zerglings. He may try to Bane Bust ahead of time. Yeah, he's going for the all-in. He's going for the all-in. He's walking queens across the map. He's going for the queen walk. He cuts workers at 46. This is what he did against Geralt, if you recall. Against Geralt on this map in the semifinals. He's going for the Link Queen all in, and there's not much to defend back at home. Now, the downside of going into Void Rays like this, Void Rays have a much lower attack rate compared to Oracles, and there's only there's only one Oracle to defend. Usually there'd be 3, right? There'd be 2 to 3 Oracles here, and Oracles, they would shut down Ling Bane. Meanwhile, we're going into Mass Void Ray. Let's go. Mass Void Ray on the way. Oh no, the Oracle! The Oracle goes down. Yeah, miscontrol out of NightMare. Does miscontrol Banelings rolling in. Oh, likewise, Banelings, they crash into just one building. Yeah, some rough control there from YoungYakov. Despite that, NightMare's supply blocked. He cannot warp in. He's just now breaking out. And it's all or nothing for YoungYakov. Can he break through? There's force fields. And there's a crash into the pylon. Lings, they try to engage. Nice force fields. Zones away the Lings. Banelings, they try to get in, but they cannot. The SimCity here is just brutal. Yeah, this middle line is so safe. Once again, goes to another force field. Lings, they're going for the Nexus, and the Nexus will go down. Queens, they get another Void Ray. Nexus falls. Does kill the base, but I believe NightMare should hold. Yeah, NightMare, he should hold on. I say that the Void Ray out of shield battery energy. He's out of energy. The Queens. Oh, getting in the Void Ray, he can. Void Ray goes down. Down to 1. 1 Void Ray left. Behind this, Yakov, Lair. Lair is on the way. Drones are on the way. Yakov, he's done. He's droning. He's taking up. Now the question is, was this worth it? Yes, he killed the base. True. He killed an expansion. He killed 8 probes, but you can see 75 Zerglings, 4 queens, and everything else was delayed in favor of this. Remember, this was an all-in. This was an all-in, and that is why there's no lair, there's no Evo chamber, there's no upgrades, there's no gases, there's minimal droning. Yakov has a lot of catching up to do. That push had to kill. That was meant to kill. That was meant to kill NightMare, and it didn't. Didn't kill him, and now he's getting into his Void Rays. He's moving out. We have charge on the way, +1, more tech, more setup. NightMare's not in a bad position. And we'll see where YoungYakov takes us from here. Does he go for a second all-in? Or does he macro into the late game? What's the plan? For now, Void Rays at 9, another expansion. It's going to be a cancel. Does cancel the base. Yakov stuck on 4. Void Rays take it into the main. Not bad. 3 drone kills. No transfuse. Yeah, no transfuse. Queen is going to go down. Trades a queen for a Void Ray. Oh, no. Another queen. The queen cannot escape. And do we have any queens left over here? Yeah, late reaction. Late reaction out of YoungYakov. He did not react in time. He had too much faith in those 2 queens, in those 3 queens. And he's losing too much. Losing far too much here. 6 drones going down. Oof, brutal damage. Remember, YoungYakov didn't have a good economy to begin with. Now even worse. NightMare is pushing forward. Oh, running into Banelings. Nice splits. Very nice last second split. That was almost disastrous. Yeah, NightMare's just going for the kill. He's going for the kill. There's nothing to defend. The Banelings are late. Nice control, NightMare. He pulls away the Zealots, and oh, 1 Baneling connects, but only 1. And with that, NightMare, he just overwhelms. The Hydras, they do nothing. The Hydras are so vulnerable. And without any supports, they just go down. Until they break through, boys are being pulled. And we have a series. We have a series. GG gets called. NightMare ties it up. We have a back and forth. We're tied up 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played again. YoungYakov, he was all in. He failed to do critical damage. He killed the base, yes, but that didn't really matter. Didn't really matter, as he himself had a very low drone count, very low setup, a very low tech setup, I should say. So he did not do enough damage with his all-in. He tried to transition out of it, but as you saw, it was a very shaky transition, losing so many drones to the Void Ray harass, losing his queens, and of course having no support for his army because it was re-droning and resaturating. Spending a lot of his lava on drones, less on army. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3. So far we're tied up 1-1, and we'll see who takes the lead in the series. Let's go. We go. These Void Rays give me nightmares. Back in the day when we had 90% Void Ray openers. Yes, that was a very dark time in StarCraft. That was back in 2020, 2021. The Void Ray meta was a dark time. Oh no. Of course, since then, there were a lot of nerfs to the Void Ray, which is what shut that down, if you recall. The shield battery was changed. Like back then, if you remember, that was when you could morph in shield batteries and they would morph in with full energy. that was crazy. Which allowed for proxy Void Rays as well. That's one of the reasons why proxy Void Ray was very prevalent. Because you could set up shield batteries to support them and go for like Tempest Rush that much faster as well. I believe, what were the nerfs? They increased the build time on the Void Ray, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they changed the cost as well. But here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, and of course they also changed to the shield battery. But we will be loading into Incorporeal. In the bottom right hand corner we have the South Green Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left hand corner we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. Go. But yeah, it's StarCraft. It's been around for a long time. I mean, I feel like traditionally we would just refer to certain eras of StarCraft by their expansions, but Legacy has lasted so long that there are just so many phases within Legacy that had their own metas and had their own kind of styles. If you remember, like pylon rushing was the thing. That was crazy. Like talking about overcharging pylons, I mean. So you could cannon rush plus overcharge rush as well with pylons, with the mothership core. Crazy. There was the Nexus overcharge. That was also a thing. Yo, anyone remember Tankovax? That was crazy, Babby. That was crazy. I mean, it made for some entertaining games for sure. Tankovax and PvZ. Forget that was busted. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't appreciate what we have now, because I'm sure there's people even watching right now. There was a big influx of viewers and a big influx of players as well during the COVID era of StarCraft, like during EPT, like ESL Pro Tour, sorry, 2019 going into 2020. So they didn't experience any of that. They didn't. There are newer viewers of StarCraft that didn't experience like the beginning of Legacy, which was wild. Balancing Glaive Adepts, where Glaive Adepts would actually hit multiple targets. Oh no. Early Legacy was a time. As for now, Stargate opener. Stargate opener at NightMare. Opening up Stargate, going for the Oracles. Yeah, for those that are unaware, Tankovax is when you could pick up tanks. You could pick up a tank while it was sieged and unload it sieged as well. And there was no delay. So you just be hyper microing like Tankovax. It was insane. Oh no. It's crazy. As I do see YoungYakov going for a very fast layer. So my apologies, looking back into this game. Standard opener out of NightMare going for his own earlier Twilight Council. We'll see if this is going to be without a Forge into early Glaives. So NightMare is being a little bit cheeky here, but at the same time, YoungYakov going for, I believe this was around a 4-minute lair timing, so really early lair. Now, based on this lair timing, I'm anticipating this is going to be similar to what we saw against Geralt, going into Ling Hydra, into a Ling Hydra all-in, without any, into a lair tech all-in without any upgrades. Yep, there it is, Hydra Den. If you were here for the semifinals, YoungYakov did this very same build against Geralt in the ace match on Persephone. This is the game where eventually he transitioned into lair tech lurkers, and he was able to hold position the lurkers outside behind the army and catch out all the stalkers. So same build here. And if you remember, the initial goal is to hit with purely Ling Hydra. The lurkers came out later because the game just kept going, and Geralt, he survived the initial aggression. So Yakov is going for an all-in. He should be getting a 4th base just for Larva. And remember, no Eva Chamber. That's a sign here, of course. There's no Eva Chamber, no upgrades, no Infestation Bit, no Lurker Den, just pure Ling Hydra with only Hydra upgrades and Ling Speed. So we're going to be cutting workers at 3 base saturation. I believe Yakov does get his 6th Gas Geyser with this, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he does get it towards the end. And it's on NightMare to scout. So far, NightMare, he sees the 4th base, goes into the main, sees the lair is done. He saw the lair earlier, and he will confirm, yeah, he sees the Hydra Den. He knows. So nice scout out of NightMare. He is aware of the Hydra Den. Behind this, Temple Archives is done. We need Storm. Storm is being chronoed. Storm is the win condition. If we can get into Storm, Storm will shut down everything that YoungYakov has. So Storm is on the way, and Yakov is on the timer. Let's go. After he's on the timer, we gotta send it here and now. Hydra speed kicks in. We have Hydra range on the way. Again, the goal here is to at least kill the expansion and at least get the mineral line. At least. Bouncing in, getting some of the Hydras. Sorry, getting some of the High Templar. Gets 1, gets 2. Gets 2 High Templar go down. Nice snipes. Gets some of the Stalkers. Blink is not done. Massive timing here by YoungYakov. He strikes before Blink and before Storm. And with that, Storm is done in 10 seconds. There's 1 Templar that survives. 1 Templar left. Shield battery out of energy. Storm is done. We have 1 Storm. There's the engine. Oh no, the Templar gets sniped. Early 1 Storm. And Yakov is done. He's done. He has broken the back of NightMare. Just barely. This was a crazy timing. He hit like 10 seconds before Blink and 20 seconds before Storm. It was so close. It was so clutch. Just before the upgrades, and with that, NightMare couldn't hold. He could not hold on. He only had the 1 Storm, and I say that's going to be 26 probes going down. And NightMare, he's hanging on, but he already lost the economy. He lost the expansion. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes the lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very crisp ball in here from YoungYakov. He hit just in time. If he hit 10 seconds later, different story. But remember, he hit just before Blink and just before Storm as well. Really nice target firing there out of NightMare. Sorry, out of YoungYakov to focus on the High Templar. And even when Storm kicked in, it was insane to see the NG overcharge on the High Templar, and instantly the High Templar went down before the Storm. So very clutch, very tense. And with that, YoungYakov 1 game away from claiming the series. Uno más, papi, uno más. Tanks and side shuttles let me quit the game for some time. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, it was a very different meta, because back then, because Tankovax was so prevalent and so prominent, Ling being muted was still a thing, and emphasis on the muters to actually have that anti-air to stop drop play and to zone away medevacs and to be the counter to the tanks, of course. Because we'd see more tanks than Widow Mines because of the Tankovax. It was very, very different. Very different. It's crazy. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 4. Game number 4 here, and in the bottom left-hand corner we have the favorite player in this tournament, but he is down in the series. Can he bounce back and force the ace match? The South Korean Protoss for Streamer Zone, it is NightMare. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself leading the series 2-1. Not from South Korea. It is YoungYakov. And again, so far it's been a very, very aggressive series. A very aggressive series here. We've seen a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins from everyone involved. I mean, YoungYakov has gone for an all-in every game. Every single game. Game 1, we saw a Ling flood across the map on torches, with mining through the patches and making use of the gold base. Game 2, we saw a Ling Queen all-in out of YoungYakov, which did fail to do damage, which was able to get the base, but only the Nexus did not get the mineral line and did not do enough damage. In Game 3, we saw the Ling Hydra all-in, which did hit just in time before Storm, before Blink. NightMare, he fought for his third base, and he lost everything in the process. So the question is, are we running out of all-ins? That's what I'm getting at. We've seen 3 different all-ins out of YoungYakov so far. Some have succeeded, others have failed. Do we have something else? So far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of YoungYakov. Now, what haven't we seen? We haven't seen a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. True, we haven't seen a Nidus all-in. We haven't seen Mutaplay, right? Standard opener into Mutaplay is more viable on Maganatha, and Mutaplay is not an all-in, but it is a way to catch your opponent with their pants down. Likewise, we could go back into Ling Hydra all-in. I wouldn't want to see it 2 games in a row, though, I'll be honest. Especially on Maganatha. Sorry, on Tokamak. Wouldn't be too fond of the idea. There are some roach-based all-ins that we could be going for as well, like a German taxi, but I would also say that, I mean, in general, all-ins are not favored on this map. Welcome to Tokamak. I should have started with that. Tokamak is the 2nd largest map in the map pool, but the most defensive map. The reason for this is because of these rocks. I mean, one of the many reasons. Typically, in a standard map, this area would be open. The area would be open, and the aggressing player can rotate between the triangular third, the natural, and the linear third base as well. You can rotate back and forth. Here it's fully sealed off, so there's only 2 entrances into 4 bases. Here towards the top side and here towards the south side. So only 2 entrances into 4 expansions. Likewise, there's a lot of high ground, a lot of choke points. So as the defending player, you can make your stand on the high ground and defend and shut down aggression if you see it coming ahead of time. And also the rush distance. True, the rush distance is also quite long on this map. So there's a lot that works against all-ins. You can still all-in, they can still work, but it's just a little bit more difficult to pull off here. It's more difficult. As NightMare does threaten the shade, 2 adepts they can one-shot workers. YoungYakov still droning. Ooh, overreaction. Yeah, Yakov, calm down. Bit of an overreaction. Does flinch against the adepts. Behind this fast evo chamber, this tells us it's going to be fast +1 melee, so it's going to be a Ling heavy style. No roaches, or most likely no roaches. So this leading into Ling Hydra. Meanwhile, we do have a fast Twilight Council. Okay. A fast council here after the 3rd base. With this, we can go into early Blink or early Glaives. We'll see. Glaives or Blink are on the table. Baneless gets hidden behind the main base. It looks like a Ling Bane bust. As you typically would be hiding that tech, or even getting it this early. That's a shade in. So fire gets 1 drone, double stage trap here behind the mineral line. Will connect with the queens. Oh, does get 2. Does catch 2 queens, but does not get the mineral line. Drones are survive. They do survive. They do make it out unscathed. And YoungYakov, he's drone up to 46. So he's up to around 2 base saturation, or under 3 base. Under 3 base saturation. Oh god. As drones are going down. Baneless is done. +1 is halfway done as well. And I believe we should be making nothing but Lings. But we'll see. We have a couple of drones being squeezed out. Yeah, a couple of workers. Yep, here it comes. Queens are pushing forward. We have 26 Lings in production. We're going for the Ling, Bane, Queen all in. The Queens are walking. Behind this NightMare, he knows. Yeah, he knows. He throws down a wall of shield batteries. We have 3 shield batteries here at the third base. More shield batteries here at the natural. So a nice scout from NightMare. He's preparing. Blink is not going to be done. Not yet. And Yakov, he wants to surround those stalkers. Nice SimCity. He fully walls up. Ooh, the wall gets broken. And he's going for the mineral line. He's going for the probes. There's a Stasis trap. Stasis gets baited. Nice control. Link is still not yet done. And nice Stasis once again. Yeah, Bane's getting caught out. Yeah, we're running out of Lings. Running out of ground army. Queens are being targeted. Gets 1 queen. Gets 1. Gets 2. And nice target firing. Blink is almost done. But here comes a wave of Lings. There's Blink. Blink just barely competes in time. And NightMare, he's holding. NightMare, he's holding on. Baileys, they break out of the Stasis trap. But they break out so late. And every queen goes down. Down go all the queens. Nice target firing. NightMare, he pulls back in. He knows he's defended. He knows he has defended. And NightMare, he's running away with this game. Again, so crucial that NightMare, he scattered. He saw the army. He saw the all-in. He responded with a wall of shield batteries, with a wall of gateways, with Stasis traps as well. It was a last-second defense, but pulled it off. NightMare does pull it off. And Yakov is falling further behind. This is what? This is a 7-minute lair timing. Jeez, it's so late. Such a late lair. Late gases, +1 range. Everything is delayed. A late 4th base. And this should go to the ace match. There is a chance, of course, always, if NightMare, if he makes mistakes. If he overextends, if he has some late reactions, like, there is a chance, of course, for YoungYakov to recover. But you never want to be in a game state where you're hoping your opponent makes mistakes. Right? That's the goal here. That's the hope. As NightMare's just turtling up. Oh, good. Just turtling up back at home and getting a 4th. I mean, hey, this, as we mentioned, like, this map, it's harder to go for all-ins on Tokamak and easier to defend on 4 bases, as there's only 2 attack pods. Just here and here. Just 2 attack pods to worry about. NightMare's even just pushing out. Yeah, why not? He's got Storm. He has 6 High Templar. He's got at least 6 Storms. Looks like at least 7 Storms. So we have 1 High Templar with just full energy. Here, and NightMare does move in. Oh good. A little bit trigger happy here with the Storms. That was 340. Better Storms towards the end, but in the beginning he did rapid fire, and he will lose every single High Templar. NightMare. This is maybe the best fight that YoungYakov could have hoped for, but it's still not going to be enough. Wow, still not enough. Again, NightMare, he did fumble that fight by just rapid firing so many Storms. But despite that, still takes it, still breaks through the main army, gets on top of the base. Yeah, with that YoungYakov, he will lose the expansion, he'll lose the army. We have 1 more Templar left. Do zone away. Storms will attempt to zone. Prism does overextend. Again, NightMare, he's been having some really shaky fights here. And NightMare forced to back off. Now, a couple of things. On the one hand, Yakov did take better trades. That's true. He did take some better fights. NightMare did kind of fumble some of those engagements. But behind this, YoungYakov, he's still trying to redrone, still trying to resaturate. The economy is still not quite there. The tech isn't quite there either. Remember, there's no Lurker Den, there's no Hive. Yakov is stuck with the Lair Tech army. He's going for a second wave, a second all-in. Stage Drive connects. Storm with the Banelings. They get in. Ooh, Banelings do connect. High Templar go down. YoungYakov, he does get the best fight possible here. It takes out every High Templar. But he needs Lings. He needs Zerglings. We need as many Zerglings as possible. He needs those reinforcements. There's another Stasis. Storm is coming in. Ooh, Stasis goes up. Saves the saves the Hydrisk. They're saved by the storm. Sorry, by the Stasis. Lings, they arrive late. And Yakov is still just trying to kill NightMare. Now there's 2 Templar. Stasis runs out. Ooh. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from YoungYakov. As he bleeds out all those Hydras. Let's force out a Storm. Banelings, nice connections. There's still not enough though. Yeah, there's barely not enough. It's still quite close. Archon goes down. We have the Zealot Warp in, and without Banelings, these Zealots, they dominate. These Banelings are morphing in. The longer this goes on, the better it is for NightMare. Time is on his side. There's 5 Templar. Jesus. Templar's on the way. Another Stasis. Let's force out an Archon. Ooh, stands in the Storm. Yeah, brutal Storm. Zealots are warping in. Without Banelings, there's no defense against the Zealots. Another Storm. Brutal fight here for Yakov. Zealots get across the map. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing at home. Every drone is going down. Yakov, he's being crippled. And again, NightMare, he should run away with this. Cleans up every Hydra. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We're going all the way to game 5. Again, we saw some shaky fights out of NightMare, so even though NightMare had a massive lead after the failed all-in, Yakov was able to make a game out of that. He was able to fight back and threaten his opponents. There was definitely a chance, there was definitely opportunities there for him, but in the end, NightMare did survive, did hold, and with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. Going to game 5. Here we go. Lingban Queen Walk, this looks cool. If you remember, he did the same build against Geralt in the previous semis. Let's see it against Geralt. Here we go. Or was it game 1? No, not game 1. I mean, I guess kind of game 1. Here we go. Here we go. We are getting into the ace match. Game 5, going to be loading into Pylon. We're loading into Pylon. Pylon is known for aggression. Pylon has a much shorter rushes by grounds, much shorter, and is a little more open as well. So we're expecting an all-in here. Whether it works or not, I mean, we're about to find out. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the orange Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing Streamer Zone, fighting back and tying up the series at 2-2. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself, being forced into the ace match. We'll see what he has up his sleeve this time. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. And again, welcome to Pylon. Pylon has a very short rush distance. Pylon is one of, if not the smallest map in the current map pool. Short rush distance by ground, very direct as well, known for all-ins, known to favor aggressive builds. You can see here, as we were pointing out on Tokamak, how there are rooks in between the bases, in between the 3rd and 4th base. Here, no rooks. Here it is open, of course. Here, there's no ramp coming into this triangular 3rd base either, so this position is more accessible to an aggressing player, an aggressing army. Likewise, here on the right-hand side, there are multiple entrances into this expansion as well, and of course, you can just ignore this base and just go straight for the natural instead. So we often do see all-ins here, and it goes both ways. We see aggression from Zerg, we see aggression from Protoss as well. So we'll see who's going to be the aggressor here in the final game. In the ace match, let's go. And again, a big shout out to YoungYakov, because already he excelled and he achieved so much making it to the finals, even in the finals against NightMare, to go all the way to the ace match. Very, very impressive play. I mean, it has been non-stop all-ins, but I mean, that's what we see from even the best Zerg players in the world. His non-stop all-ins in TVP. I'm looking at Shin, looking at Solar. Duh. But here we go. Here we go. Based on the hatchery being taken as well, we can actually start spinning creep. So this could be the beginning of a German taxi. We haven't seen a German taxi yet in this series, true. We haven't seen one yet. But you can make this queen. You can use the initial energy for a first tumor, and you can start to spread creep immediately across the map to get ready to go for a roach base all-in with some overlords, with some queens. That's a possibility, of course. It's something that we see a lot of on Ultralove. We'll see if we see it here. As the probe is going to be zoned away. Queen does inject, does not spread creep. Link speed on the way, and we're pulling out of gas. And so far, everything's looking normal. Stargate opener out of NightMare. Tumor is thrown down. Can we protect the tumor? Tumor gets spotted. Roll cloak. Will conceal itself in time. Two adepts they get into the main base. No queen! No shot. There's no queen in the main. Getting one drone so far. Denying mining time. Brutal position here for YoungYakov. And he's going for it. Yeah, he's just going across. Oh no, he does go across the map. He does catch the Oracle. Nice interception. The Oracle gets very low. But the Spore isn't done. Wow, the Spore isn't done. The punish is real. Drones are going down, and YoungYakov is all in. He's all in. It's going to be a Link Queen walker across the map. He does. The tumor does help, of course, but so many drones are falling. So much mining is being denied. This will impact the all in. It does make it weaker. And NightMare is walling up. He has a full wall back at home. 2 shield barriers on the way. Oracle is activated. The Oracle is activated. Out of energy. Forced to back. We are going to be sniping the Cybercore. Not bad. Backup Cybercore's on the way in the main. Now we can only warp in Zelens. Only slow lots. Behind this Yakov drones? Ooh, okay. Bold move. Yakov, he's droning. He does not believe he can break this. I mean, I don't believe either. So Yakov, he pulls back. Now, what did he achieve here? He killed the Cybercore, true. He contained, and he denied the 3rd base. Also true. Should deny for a 2nd time. Keeping the Protoss on 2 bases, but NightMare is going into 2 base, what? 2 base glaive adepts. We have 5 gateways already here, so 5 gate glaive adepts. That's a lot of adepts. I mean, he's going to kill one of his gateways, so 4 gates. And what does YoungYakov have? Oh god, he still has no Spore in the Mineral Line. Of the natural. Go for the stasis. Yakov pulls away. Has nice control. Using one worker. Here comes a lair for YoungYakov. Pokes in, gets us around. Not bad. Sounds the adepts. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4 adepts. Just barely. And he sees all the rest. Now, I'll be honest, YoungYakov is going to try to defend with purely Link Queen. It's a pure Link Queen defense, no SimCity. Yakov should die here. Like, this should be over. Adepts are moving in, they shade into the mineral line. More drones are falling, and it's only Queens to defend against this. They attempt to surround. Adepts, they start to step back, they shut down the Lings, they shade into the main, and more drones are falling, and this is critical damage. GG gets called, and NightMare, he will claim the series 3-2 and become this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to NightMare as he does claim the series again. YoungYakov, he did attempt the Link Queen all-in at the start of the game, the Link Queen walk, but as you saw, so much economic damage. So much damage was done. So much damage was done economically due to the Adept harass and the Oracle harass as well. This weakened the all-in. This made sure that there were less Lings, that there was a delayed push as well. Everything was just worse there for YoungYakov because of the Adept harass, because of the Oracle harass as well. So a very strong start for NightMare. On top of that, he wasn't just harassing, he also confirmed the all-in, right? He confirmed the all-in with his harassment, so he was able to deal damage and also had the information to defend on 2 bases, to not expand and to work towards Glaive Adepts. When it came to the follow-up here, again, without Banelings and without Roaches, without one or the other, it's so difficult to defend against Glaive Adepts, and we often do see Zerg players, even Serral dies to Glaive Adepts as well. We've seen that between Serral and Hero, for example, and it can be difficult if you're unprepared, if you don't scout, and if you're not ready for it. GG. GG all played. I mean, even then, like, after a failed all-in, there's no way for YoungYakov to be ready for it because he had a stifled economy, because he wasn't droning, and because he was losing workers as well. So everything was just going south there for YoungYakov, and the stars do align for NightMare. GG. GG well played. Congratulations to NightMare. But I don't want to take away from YoungYakov, because if you look at the bracket here, !B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves, this was a crazy performance. From the beginning, Yakov, he 2-0s Wayne. He 2-0s Wayne. He takes down Björn 2-1. Very impressive. He takes down Geralt 2-1. Impressive as well. And he goes all the way to the ace match against NightMare. This was a crazy performance. Like, again, Björn was favored. Björn was favored. Geralt was favored. NightMare was favored. Favored in the sense that we expect like 2-0s, maybe we have a bit of a back and forth somewhere, but yeah, for Yakov to take all of these matches, really impressive play there. GG well played. Now, to be fair, a lot of this was reliant on all-ins. True. A lot of all-ins against NightMare, against Geralt, and against Björn as well. But what I was most impressed by was some of the late game that YoungYakov revealed. Not in this series, but in the previous series. I do highly recommend watching YoungYakov versus Björn on Persephone. That was maybe the game of the tournament. If you missed it, I highly recommend it to see some late game ZVT with YoungYakov working with maxed out armies, with a split map scenario, with Mass Ultra. We saw that as well against Geralt. We did see some late game from YoungYakov against Geralt as well. So yes, we saw purely all-ins against NightMare, but against Geralt and against Björn, YoungYakov did mix in some more macro play. That's what I will say. So I do recommend checking it out. Otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG. Well played. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And with that, let's catch up here. I feel like you kind of have to all in as Zerg against Sos. I mean, that is the meta right now. That is the meta right now. For the most part, I say for the most part, Serral, of course, is the exception. And it's not like Serral does like embrace late game against Protoss. That's not true. If you watch Serral versus Classic, Serral, he has a way of playing where he just makes sure he gets into the mid to late game ahead. Like, he does critical damage early on, he gains a lead, he's greedy, he has an advantage getting into a late game, and then he leverages that advantage as well. So Serral, he does kind of like, he takes a bit of a different approach, more so than any of the others. But regardless, GG well played. And with that, congratulations to NightMare. He's going to be this week's Tuna Cup champion. And of course, this is a weekly tournament. If you enjoyed the cast, if you enjoyed the tournaments, then this is a weekly tournament on a regular basis every single week. Typically it's on Sundays. Typically it's going to be on Sundays, but if you remember, this week it was on Tuesday. Why was it on Tuesday? Because of RSL. The Revival StarCraft League RSL was over the weekend. We were covering that series, so because of that, Tuna Cup was on a Tuesday instead. That's the reasoning for that, is because it was clashing with other tournaments that we were otherwise covering instead. So whenever there's a clashing in our schedule, we do typically move it from Sunday to Tuesday, just as a heads up. Also, shout out to NightMare for becoming our champion and for winning the raffle as well. True. Does also win the raffle. And very quickly, you can see our schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be live with the PvZ Cup. PvZ Cup is going to be tomorrow morning. That's going to be at 9 a.m. KC. That's going to be at 10 a.m. AEST. That's going to be in around 10.5 hours. In around 10.5 hours time is going to be PvZ Cup. Meanwhile, tomorrow evening, we have Little League Cup. We have the Pondcast on Thursday. We have MSO on Friday and Maestro Cellar Game on Saturday. As you can see here, our schedule is a little bit leaner. If you're curious, if you may be tuning in for the first time, we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. More than Wardy, more than Steadfast. We have the most hours clocked into StarCraft over the past, almost 5 years. But now we're in the off season of EWC, and now we're slowing things down. Usually we're live twice a day. Every single day, with a morning cast and an evening cast. And technically, I could make that happen here as well. I could make it happen, but it would be nice to sleep a little bit. It would be nice to sleep, so we're slowing things down to one cast a day. You can see that Sunday is open at the moment. We do plan on hosting a cast as an event there as well, just as a heads up. But currently our schedule is a little bit more open here, with casting like once a day, sometimes twice a day, every now and then. But now that we enter the off season, I did want to slow things down a little bit, at least coming into the rest of the year of 2025. I say that there's still a lot of tournaments around the corner. There's still Starfest, there's still SC for All, there's Safe House, Home Story Cup around the corner coming into the end of the year, coming into 2026. And of course, season 3 of RSL is in November. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft still on the horizon. We're just trying to take things a little bit easier here coming into the off season. But of course, we'll still be running our events on a regular basis and still having one cast a day at least, or sometimes multiple times a day, as you can see here. Just gonna be live a little bit less than we're used to seeing. A little bit less, papi. Yeah. Sleep what? Crazy, I know. Crazy. With that, we have our top... Oh, true, we have our top 8. Oh, who's our top 8? Do we have... Is the Wikipedia page updated? Do we have our page? Can I show that off? Oh, okay, we can. So for those that are curious, for this month and for the rest of this year, our Tuna Cups, our weekly tournaments, actually provide points leading into the monthly finals. For the first time for the Tuna Cup, we have a monthly finals that is going to be right around the corner here on the 30th of September next week. Next week is not an open cup. Next week is an invitational. Is going to be a monthly tournament, and we do have our confirmed players. Exclamation mark B in the chat will take us to Wikipedia. But one moment here as I do show off the brackets. Bam. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so this is Sparkling Tuna Cup monthly September. This is the September edition. September finals here for Sparkling Tuna Cup 2025. We have our September finals, and scrolling down, we have our monthly rankings. We have in first place as #1 seed, we have NightMare. NightMare, he was able to get into the quarterfinals in STC 105. Last week, he made it to the finals, and this week, he was our champion. So here we go. We have first place, second place, and third/fourth place as well. So NightMare comes out in #1 place. Meanwhile, following him, we have Creator. Creator, he got top 3. Or he came third place, or he came top 3/4, I believe. Un momento. Oh wait, no, sorry. I think for SCC 105, that is round of 8, right? Yeah, that's round of 8. So he made it to the round of 8 in 105. Here, Creator, he got top 4 in Sparkling Tuna Cup 106, and he got second place in 107. Am I misreading this? The other way around. Oh, the other way around. My apologies. was able to get 3 points here in 106. I believe that is second place. There we go. And I believe that is top 4 because it's 2. But he got top 4 here in this week's tournament. Meanwhile, Hero, he came first place in 105. Solar came first place in 106. So they do lock themselves in. So we have NightMare, Creator, Hero, Solar. Björn, he makes it in. He was able to get into second place here for 105, and he was able second only to Hero, and of course was able to get top 8 in 107. We then have Geralt, Nicorette, and YoungYakov barely makes it through towards the end, edging it out over Percival and Rebellion. You can see here YoungYakov with this week's performance, with this second place, does actually outperform Percival and Rebellion. GG, well played. 1 second place, all you need, papi, all you need. So we have our top 8. It's going to be NightMare, Creator, Hero, Solar, Björn, Geralt, Nicorette, and YoungYakov. We'll be reaching out to all these players, inviting them. If there is a player that is unable to compete on the day, then they'll be replaced most likely by Percival and Rebellion. Just as a heads up. You can see all the other players here. You can see Shin, Akedon, Hacker's Top, Shameless, and Showtime as well. So again, if a player is unavailable, then we'll be working down this list and inviting other players. Percival, Rebellion, Shin, Akedon, likewise as well. Oh boy. When it comes to the monthly finals, it is going to be a 500 USD prize pool, so a hefty prize pool for the monthly finals. It is going to be a single elimination bracket here as well. I believe the format is we're going to be covering the quarterfinals, two matches in quarterfinals, and bam, semis, and then grand finals thereafter. Oh boy. So a lot of matches going to be taking place. And yeah, it's gonna be a first for us, a first for the monthly finals. Let's go. So look forward to that. It's going to be next week. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. And if you want to help us grow the Sparkling Tuna Cup and allow for these to be more regular, you can do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. You can see our link in the chat. If you wish, all the money on Patreon currently goes towards our tournaments, goes towards the prize pool for these events. We do have our next goal. Our next goal should be to actually start paying admins and paying casters. Let's go. But likewise, you can help us grow it even further to start actually making these monthly finals a regular thing coming into 2026. Right now, it's special for this year because we got a massive donation in the chat. We had a massive $2,000 donation, and that pays for 4 monthlies. That's going to be September, October, November, December, 4 monthlies, 500 USD each. And again, a very generous donation. That's why we have these monthly finals. If we can grow our Patreon to be able to afford that as well, then we can do this on a regular basis into next year as well. So help us grow the Patreon. Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, thanks for watching. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.